So I'm going to do a tour of Stockbridge town centre. You can see this here about Fox Valley, where it all came from, Samuel Fox. So I'll take you a quick tour down the modern bit where there's going to be an out of town shopping centre, and then I'll take you on to the real high street of Stockbridge up there. So I'm going to do a tour of Stockbridge High Street. I'll start at the other end, but this is the last part of the video and I thought it'll be the start part of the video now. We're outside the Silver Fox pub and you can actually see on the sign they're going to knock it down and make it into two houses. So that's more of our culture gone. So I've just had the most interesting chat with the security guard at Liberty Steels, and he's told me quite some interesting information. So at one bit there was probably 15,000 people working at Stockbridge Steels, and it's now down to about 4,000. Now at one bit they used to melt the steel, which I assume is in arc furnaces, which they can't do anymore. What they're actually doing is they're very dependent on what's happening across at British Steel rather than Liberty Steels, where I've worked in the past. So the steel billets get sent across from there, and then what they do is they roll them and finish them on this side. So he's told me that what they do is they have, I think it's a vacuum induction furnace or something like that, and what they can do is they can put a rusty piece of steel in there, put it through there, and it turns it into a brand new silver looking piece of steel. But he says that there's no market for it. So, but I thought I'd just show you the Silver Fox pub and then sit back, get a cup of tea, and I'll start at the other end of Stockbridge where there's a new shopping centre, and that was a surprise for me. I didn't know about that new shopping centre in Stockbridge. So I've come today to document Stockbridge town, and I've got a bit of a shock because I didn't know about this. I'll just show you across here. This is the main entranceway into original Samuel Fox's British Steel Stockbridge, and now Liberty Steels. But here now in what was the low yard is now a shopping centre, and I'll just show you a quick glimpse inside. I'm really not interested in walking around here, I just thought I'd show it you quickly. Now I came across this at Gainsborough where they've actually used an old industrial yard and turned it into a big shopping area. You can see the shops down either side, right down at the bottom, all the branded names. So I'm not really going to show you that because I've got no interest. Let's get into the real part of Stockbridge. But all this town centre is going to do, or this shopping centre is going to kill off the town centre itself. So it's the first I knew about it, but you can see more of the stuff here. They're all globalist type names. So let's get onto the main high street and document what's left of Stockbridge. But I've only passed through Stockbridge when I've had the occasion to work for the steelworks. So we got a train line down here, so I don't know if that's a train line from Victoria Station or not that's going to get reopened, or whether it's just a feeder line for the steel company. You can see all the back of this new modern shopping centre. Like I said, I'm not going in. They tend to be private anyway, and it's just full of all the same names you'll see at every retail unit. So we're on Fox Valley, Samuel Fox's Valley History Museum, Tuesday and Thursday 10 o'clock till 3:30. But it is really surrounded by beautiful countryside, and I've said other than driving through I've never actually walked through. Coming to places I've never been to before. I'm told there's a festival like the Woodstock Festival, it's called something like that, but it's not, if you know what I mean. So I'll just see if I can see what this church is called. So I've just looked on the building and it's called St Matthew's and it's been closed down. I think I'm on the edge of the town centre, so I'm going to come back, but I thought I'd just do this bit and then I'll walk back the other direction. So we've got an Alfred's Auto Centre here. For my little independent garage in Dinnington. So we're on Manchester Road at the moment. I just want to show you this area here. I could see it from a distance from the steelworks and I didn't know what it was. But I think it's some sort of remembrance garden, and you can see a clock tower at the top. I'll just hop on a bit and see if I can see anything from another angle up here. So you can see a stone there, place for the celebration. I was just going to see what this board says here. So it's telling you about Stockbridge and Deepcar. So you can see the clock tower up there. I could see it right from some distance. I'm going to have a walk back in to the town centre now and show you the town centre along there. So if you look on that map, I don't know if you can see it very well. Just zoom back out. It's not a great map, so my finger's over here. I'm going to walk back towards the Underbank Reservoir that way. Some nice rhododendron bushes up here. But you can see the valley that we're walking through. So as I walk back along here now, you've got the steelworks on the right and the valley on the other side, and also the valley on this side. But I've done a video down the other side of the steelworks, and we might capture some of the steelworks when we're walking back down this side. So we'll see how many buses pass me today. We've got the Stockbridge bypass around here. I was just looking at something. You can see like a cellar there, so somebody can probably tell me if that was a pub in the past. So that looks like trapdoors to a pub cellar. So I've seen it time and time again with these out of town retail centres, like Gainsborough's a typified one, and all they do is just destroy the existing town centres rather than actually putting some better parking around the existing town centres. probably having a bus service here, etc. They just destroy them and then they build back better. So this was the town hall. Is it a town hall still? Probably is. But Stockbridge and Penistone are a constituency in their own right, and they've got the first Tory MP, and I think the Tories betrayed us, didn't they, on Brexit. They provided us with a very poor Brexit, very watered down to what I think we actually voted for, and they've still done nothing about the immigration in the UK. I could stop the problem tomorrow. At the end of each day they'd just be stuck back on a frigate and dropped off on the shores of France, whether the French liked it or not. We've had to help the French out in 2 world wars, so I expect a bit more from the French. The Tories have been shocking for the last 12 years, but if anybody thinks Labour's going to be any better, Labour's took us into the Iraq war. They opened the gates to immigration in 1998 with Eastern Europeans. Everything had been quite okay up to that, because the only people that could come into the UK were from the higher GDP nations, and when they opened the doors to the Eastern Europeans, they all came here. So we've got a little here. That's not going to help the high street either, is it really? So I don't know if that was an old theatre. It says Palace Mall entrance. Valley Firearms. But I'm told it's like most high streets now. This is Saturday afternoon, probably 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It's not a dig at Stockbridge, because it's the same where I live and everywhere else, unless you're lucky. So I don't know what the Palace Mall was. Well, it looks like a theatre to me, or an old cinema of some kind. You can see down the shuttered down places, which I'm wondering if they're actually food places only open at night. But it doesn't look as though there's been any investment in Stockbridge High Street to get it buzzing, and now there's a new Fox retail centre. Is it ever going to ever recover? Like I said, some of the shuttered down ones could be because the food place is only open at night, but then you look there, Vision Fit, that looks like it's shut. I'm guessing it was a sustainable community where you could get everything locally. Still got Fox Valley bikes, which is good. Electric bikes. But it is quite sad really. I mean, there's 0 footfall around here, and so many shops shut. Now if you go to places like Tickhill and other more twee places, you'll see their high streets are pretty much surviving. So I don't know what Icon Church is. Looks like another religious type thing. May be able to get a sneak of the steelworks on the right hand side if we're lucky. But Myra might have something to say about this. Getting buses into Sheffield and places like that. What's been done to this high street? So there's all for sale signs on that there. I mean, the pharmacy should be open, shouldn't it, on a Saturday? So I don't know what's happened there. Stockbridge Library just there. Just going to pop through here and see if I can see anything from here. So you can see right by the side of the high street, you can see the steelworks tucked all the way in this valley. Just down here. Anybody work there to tell us what's going off there? That's positive news. We've still got John Crawshaw high-class butchers just here. You can see the delivery vans. It's positive. Knitting place just there. Florist just there. Pub. We've got the cooperative just here. And I'm just parked up this side street. So I'm on just off Johnson Street to the top. I don't know if there's going to be many more shops down here. We'll have a walk down and see what else I can find down here. I'm told they're building lots of more houses around here, but they're not affordable for people starting. The issue is, when I bought my first house, you couldn't borrow more than 2.5 times your salary. So for example, I borrowed 23 grand. I think my salary was about 10 grand in those days, in 1987. Now, for 50 grand you could buy an absolute mansion in Sheffield, like a castle. So that was, you know, you went from what I was paying for a 2-bedroom detached in 87. I was paying 23 grand for a 2-bedroom, but you could get a massive castle somewhere in Sheffield for 50. They didn't go up above 50 grand from what I remember. You can see all tucked in on the right hand side is the steelworks. It's quite a large one. But I don't know who made it so large. Was it Samuel Fox, or was it the investment from when it became British Steel in the 1950s? I think it was about 55 that the Labour government took over all the steel companies. I'm just going to see if I can see anything of the steelworks from the back here. I'm not going to try and even remember that. So it's Christ Church, Stockbridge, a United Reformed Church, Methodist Ecumenical Partnership, whatever that means. I've never heard of that. I can't even pronounce it. But just let's have a look at the church. I'm guessing this church, like many, have been taken over by other denominations of Christianity. Just nip across the road. I think we're getting pretty much to the end of the town centre. I'll just have a little bit more of a walk along here, but see what we can see. I'm sure Andy will be chuffed on a longer video. What I'll do is when I get a bit further along, I can see something a bit further along. What I'll do is I'll start filming a bit further along. Got Crofton carpets just here. So we've still got a fire station in Stockbridge. I wonder if it's there because of the steelworks. Maybe able to get a bit of a view across from here of the steelworks. So you get a bit of a view of the steelworks across there. So there's a bit of a board on Stockbridge here. I don't know how well you'll see it on screen. Stop the screen and tell you a bit more about it. It's quite a long walk along here. I've probably walked about a mile or so. And this is the billet finishing West Bank. I don't know what you can see through there, but that looks to me like there was a steel melting up there. See some massive extractor. See another one of the long steel sheds, a couple of guys walking along. But I've been told a lot of these guys are still being furloughed actually in here. How can they be being furloughed in this period in time? You can see that massive extractor on the top. That looks to me as though there were probably some art furnaces in there. So we've got the billet finishing West Bank officers. I don't know who worked here. So this will probably be the final bit of my video, but it does give you a feel. You can see these rows of terrace houses on the right hand side, and then behind the rows of terrace houses there's this long steel company all the way along this valley. Just open, I might be able to just get a little bit more just round this corner view of the steelworks from here. So here we are at Liberty Steel Gate 1, going back into the town centre, and then you can see the buildings up there. So I don't know what memories that brings back for people. I'm actually going to call it a day. I think I've given you enough feel for Stockbridge now. The steelworks in the valley, houses along the valley or shops, and then on this other side of the valley, houses along here as well. So that's a quick update from Stockbridge Town High Street.